and welcome back. We are getting near the end of our Python Django application and walking through some of the Python skills here. And we are looking at an overall application. So this episode, we're going to look at, essentially it's a user acceptance testing kind of thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to bootstrap this. So we're going to use, as we go through, we're going to walk through our application. This is a human kind of thing. And we're going to look for some, maybe some things that we want to do to clean stuff up, to sort of, button down the last little pieces. And we're going to use our application to track this. And so we're going to dive right in. We'll start with coming in from our roadmaps. And we've got a roadmap already that we're going to use for 2021. And we're going to create a new time frame. And we're going to call this one immediate. And this is stuff that we're going to be working on. And the parent is going to be nothing. So I think we're just going to keep it as itself. And the roadmap is already set. And period, this is going to be monthly. And that will work for now. So we're not going to need any time frames. We're going to go right to our goals. Now, one thing that we would look at here as part of our testing is what happens if I do a create task when I have not yet fully created the time frame. So if I try to do that, boom, that gives me an error. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually create a task. Let's see, we created all that. So we're going to save this, and then one of the first tasks we're going to do is create task on new time frame. So we save our record. Now, I think we're going to be able to, no, actually, we probably have to, so we've got a nice little bug. So if we look at let's go back to our roadmaps, 2021, immediate, now create task. And so the first one we're going to do is error message on create task when, well, let's see. Click on, on create task when clicked on create time frame. Now here's another little thing, is our name is a bit long. And so we may want to add a description. So let's see, we're going to do error on create task, new time frame. So we're going to do that. This isn't really built necessarily for some details, but what we are going to do is we're going to add that. So time frame's immediate, no due date, no completed date, but this is going to be new. So that's another thing we want to do, is let's default some of our stuff. So we're going to create this. And then here, let's see. So now this is on a task. Let's see what happens if we create a second task. So let's say default status on create task. And if we do save, let's go look at our task. Let's go roadmap. This one, immediate. Okay, good. So it did create it, but it doesn't clear it out. I don't know if we want to do that. So right now we'll leave it. That way you can go in and you can edit. But it does mean we also want to, this is going to be add description field to task. Well, we'll just say text for now. We'll figure out our size at some point. So we want to do that. And notice a lot of this is going to be for usability and speed. And this is one of the things that when we, you call it, scratch your own itch. When we're creating an application that we use, it's probably going to be pretty nice because we're using it. We're in it every day or regularly enough. We're going to want to make it work nicely. It's going to try to work with the way we do stuff. So we want to do that. And let's see, so if we return to immediate, we can go back here. We can see that we have our tasks. Now, one of the things I think we want to do here, because tasks can get sort of long, we're going to see how this looks here in a minute. So let's say, so we've got our basics put together right now. So let's go look at, so starting from scratch, essentially, in our app. If we come into our login, we've got a home, which works. Let me log out, because now what we do, if we do home, it doesn't really do anything. If we do about is broken on the login page, and log out exists even if you have logged in. I mean, even if you're already. So let's make sure if I do, let me just reset this real quick. Okay, good. So now I've got a couple of things. So I'm going to do login shows logout when logged out. And we also are going to do that login about page broken. And I think that's because we don't have an about anymore. We can actually probably look at that. Do we have? I do not see. Yep, we don't have an about anymore. I don't know if we have one over here. So we'll have to actually create an about page of some sort. We'll have to do something for that. So let's just say, well, we'll do that. And we're going to want to create it. Now, the nice thing is because we're returning to this create task, then we're able to tweak these and really quickly enter tasks. What we probably want to do is we're going to do create task provide, so let's just call it save message. Because we want to do something here to say, hey, we did save our record. So let's go back to immediate. We're going to see a bunch of tasks. And so now it's starting to get a little bit long. So we may want to change how we do the task listing on edit time frame. So let's say slimmer display of tasks time frame. Now what we're doing here, I do want to mention, is that we are building this more as a bug tracking type of, we're using this as a bug tracking tool, which is not really what tasks typically would do. Our task is going to be, mow the yard, do the dishes, things like that. We don't necessarily need, for example, descriptions, but we're going to provide it and we will make it nullable. So we save that. We make that new, save the record. Now, the other thing is like if we save on an already saved record, what does this do? Let's go look at that real quick. So we're going to see that we're actually duplicating. So let's take this one and delete it. Okay, good. That works. Now, delete returns us to all tasks. So that's yet another that we want to look at. So let's go back to roadmaps, time frame, immediate. And so we've got a couple here. So one we want to do is save may duplicate task, which probably is okay, but we're going to put it up there anyways because as we change some other things, that may work for us. And we also want to do delete tasks, task returns to task list, which we probably don't want to do. We want to go back to where we were. This is one of those navigation things we ran across when we started to add a little bit of a flow from roadmaps into timeframes and things like that. So now if we look at task list, what we probably want to do here is, this is a report. So there's a couple things. Well, if we look at our reports, let's go back to that. So let's just say tasks by roadmap. If we look at that, remember, we aren't able to really do anything with these. We can see that there's some status stuff like that. But if we go to our task list, we can complete. And I guess we can come in and edit, but we don't have a way to filter. So we probably want to add a filter to all tasks. So let's, and create tasks doesn't work from the task list. So there's another one for us to work on. Notice as you start getting in testing, you can crank out some tasks pretty quick. So let's see, first one is create task from task list does not work. We'll just say broken. And then we also want to do add filter to task list. And that'll work here. And so where I thought maybe we're getting close in, we probably have a couple episodes of stuff to go through, doing some of this bug fixing. Some of this is feature rounding out. We'll say it's not some of it's bugs, some of it, as we see, are feature changes. But this can take a little bit of time to clean stuff up. And this is just really, we're sort of functionally focused right now. So if we come in, we do our home page, is our active tasks. And we probably, these are actually all, I believe, new. Or these are the things that aren't complete. So remember, so we've got that. We may want to tweak that. I think for now we'll leave active tasks as it is. So we've got quite a few. We actually probably want to change active tasks filter by time frame. Oh, that does allow us there. That's interesting. So we want to active tasks filter by time frame. This is going to be new. He's going to work off his time frame immediate. Save the record. Okay, good. So he's there. Oh, and he even returns us to immediate. So that's pretty good. There's some of this that's working actually pretty nicely. Let's see. So we are going to have to look at something that's rather interesting here that I don't know that I want to test it right at this point. I'm going to test it on the other one, is delete record from a time frame. So roadmaps, if we go into a roadmap, we can delete a roadmap, but we want to figure out what does it do downstream. So let's look at this one, at our 2022, because we didn't really do much with it. So we're going to have to actually create some test data. So this is going to be time frame 1. And it'll be, well, we'll just say it's quarterly. Parent is nothing because this is a time frame. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, so this doesn't have a parent within the time frame, so we're going to do that. And then we have sort of the same thing here, but we can quickly create some time frames. So now if we go back to our roadmap, it has 2 children. We have some time frames. So let's go in here and let's, well, actually, we're going to have to create both. So this is going to be time frame 3, because we're going to have to walk down our list a little bit. So let's create a time frame 3, and we're going to create a task on this. This is just a random task off of time frame 1. Oh. And we're actually going to need to go back to our annual goals, and on time frame 2, I want to create a task without a time frame. Oh, let's see, it's just going to be another task. Let's call it that. And so now what we've got, if we work our way up to goals 2022 on that for our roadmap, is we've got 2 different time frames. We've got a time frame that has children, and then we have a time frame that does not have children, but it has a task. The first thing we want to test is what happens if I delete this time frame for this task. Now the task is another task. Whoops. And let's see what happens to it. So if I try to delete my time frame, boom. Now delete time frame returns to all time frames. That's probably something we want to change. So delete time frame goes to time frame list. Oh, let me see if I can get, here we go. Okay, so if I go back to annual goals, I don't want annual goals 2022. Oh, this is moving stuff around. So this is going to be where I'm going to have a little bit of a challenge. So first, let's go here. 2021, immediate, create a task. And this is going to be delete time frame returns to time frame list, which I don't think we want to do. Whoops. I don't need a due date yet. And then what was the other one? Okay, so now I need to look from here. Let's go back to roadmaps, 2022. So it only has 1 child, but if we look, it says it has 2, which is not right. So we also know that, let's go back here. 2021, 2022. Oh, so here, we can go back into immediate, and we need a task, which is time frame does not show child count when deleted. We'll just say that. And so now if we go back to our roadmaps, 2022, the interesting thing is that we have no, it shows 2, but we only have 1. So if we go back to, I think we called it TFS, is our time frame list. So we can look from here, and it's going to see, we're going to see that time frame 2, oh, it's because the child is the child of the child time frame, which is probably okay. So now we do want to look at our task list, and we should see somewhere down here. So it looks like it did create our other task. It looks like it did get deleted. So that's good. So it did do a child delete. So now we can probably go in, and if we say annual goals 2022, then we should see time frame 1 disappear. Let's see if all of this works. So if we delete our roadmaps, so now we only have our 1. And if we look at our task list, then down here, we lost the tasks that were on that time frame. These are all under immediate, so we're all good. If we look at our time frames, then we'll see that these are all based off of our 2021. If we look at any one of these, we're going to have to fix that. Then we're going to see that these are the annual goals 2021. So let's go back here. So if we look at the time frame list, I don't know if we're actually still going to use it. Let's go here, immediate task. Let's see, fix, edit on time frame list, because we want to make it something other than that button. So that's our start. This has gone a little long, but I'm going to maybe trim it a little bit where I can. But we're going to come in next episode. We're going to continue this. It's noticed that it can take a little bit of time. So we'll do so. We're going to take some time and get ourselves a nice, healthy list of things we want to fix, and then talk about actually addressing those, so the remediation of those issues. That being said, I'll cut it short right now. There's not going to be an update in the in GitHub at this point. What I'll end up doing is I'll probably export the items, create a list or something like that, and store that. So there's not a version control update for this episode, and likely not the next one. Sorry if I ran a little bit long, but as always, go out there, have yourself a great day, and we will talk to you next time.